Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, guys, welcome to our next episode of Chameleon Cuts. I'm so excited to have Desiree Ragoza Bassett here with me. She is amazing. She's a total chameleon, rocking all her shades of guitarist, songwriter, singer. She started her own label. She's amazing. And I'm so happy to have you today. So welcome, Desiree.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I'm super pumped. To have you're the third female that's been on my show in 10 episodes, so I'm super excited.
Oh, really?
About that. Yes, so it's amazing. I'm so happy to have you. So today the topics I wanted to talk about with you is your journey, touring and playing guitar, and the training that you've had and how you got it and your whole journey with that. Your single that we did together, Artificial, so exciting. I
love it.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm so excited for all that. And then how you started your own label, what that journey was like. I want to ask you about your favorite gear and your experience in the music industry thus far and where you're headed. So real quick, how are you doing today? What's going on?
I'm fantastic. Today's nice weather. I've been able to go out. I actually went to a clothing store beforehand of the consignment to put some clothes in for that, and then I ended up bringing some more clothes home.
Little exchange. Not mad at that. I love that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Like I want to talk about your wardrobe too and your makeup, because it's all amazing stuff that totally goes into you as a performer. And you're in Connecticut right now, or is it New York?
Actually, Massachusetts.
Okay, Massachusetts. Okay, I knew we were in the East Coast somewhere, so I indicated on the map with my super extra bow here.
Oh,
yeah, it's great. So the premise of my show is essentially to just educate newcomers in the industry and give them reputable information about how to get started and other professionals and their journeys, and just like connecting people to each other. So thank you so much for being here. Yeah, and so everybody can follow your journey as well. I'm like, how did you start playing guitar? I know your bio and everything. I just want to hear your personal story on like how it began and that whole transition into playing professionally. So what was that like?
Sure. So I started playing when I was 3. It mostly was like I gravitated to my dad because he was playing more so for like a hobby and stuff. And wow. Just like it got to a point, it's kind of funny. So it's like he bought his very first guitar like when he was in the Marines. He was in Japan, and he found it at a pawn shop, and he wasn't supposed to have it like on the ship with him and stuff, but he kind of snuck it in anyways. So I used to go towards it and like touch it and stuff, and like try to like play the strings and all that. He'd yell at me to like don't touch it and stuff, because like that's his like baby. But
was it acoustic or electric?
It was an electric. It was actually like an Ibanez Roadstar 2. They don't even make those anymore.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I kept going to it, touching it, and trying to play stuff on it. He would yell at me, but eventually it got to a point that like something like clicked in his head. It's like, well, maybe I should just get her like a kid-size one and see where it goes. And on the top of the fretboard, it was like a kid-size like a Stratocaster knockoff, but he wrote like F, G, and A on there for me to help me remember chords and stuff. So he would teach me chords and like a couple little scales and stuff. And I got really interested, and it just kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of took off from there. I just would play for hours. My mom sometimes would yell at me like, you need to go play outside, because I'd be inside for 8 hours just playing and trying to learn songs and stuff just for fun.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Wow. So had you ever sought out lessons really for a period of time, or?
I had some lessons here and there, but I was mostly self-taught. I took some private lessons in Yukon for a short while. I took lessons when I was around 12, 13. He was one of my bassists at the time, but he was a bassist for Dickie Betts as well. And I took lessons from him for 3 years. I still have all my notes like on the side of my desk here. I still look back every once in a while. But I mostly learn by ear, so I'll listen to something and try to learn it that way.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So how did you decide that you wanted to, I imagine you were like playing in bands and stuff in your area, and then like at some point, I know you had auditioned for, was it America's Got Talent, or you did some talent show and you won?
It was a couple of different ones. Oh, I don't know where to start, but my first one. My first one, I was like probably 8 years old, and my dad signed me up for like their talent contest, and I think I won like second place that day. And there was another one for Talent America. I think that's the one that was taking place in New York, and I won the award for Best Musician of the Year. And then there was another one that year that I did for like Soleil. I don't know if they still do it or not, but it was based in like Manhattan, and I got second place for that, the silver medal.
Wow.
And I want to say that was the last one I did, but I actually got offered like a contract a long time ago for America's Got Talent, but I didn't end up doing it just because like my personal opinion, like if for artists like us that already have something established, it's not really like an ideal thing for us, because it just signs away like all the rights and stuff,
right.
Image, videos, even like writing material, they claim all the rights for that, and a lot of these different rules. So it didn't really fit what I was doing at the time.
Yeah, I've heard that those contracts are like that it's kind of like, okay, yeah, we'll do all this stuff for you, but you can't go and work with anybody else, and everything you have now is ours too. Is that kind of what it's like? Yeah.
You're very tied down to them.
Wow. So you've always kind of wanted to like do your own thing and find your own way. It sounds like you were always kind of on your own journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's awesome. So at what point did you, like, I met you at the Real Radio concert in Jamaica, Queens. That was so dope. What a fun show, right?
Fun show. I missed that. I know another one.
That was such a great show. We should contact them again and see if they would be down to do it. They were so nice. It was so cool. Like, the guys from you had Ray Leslier from Korn, and then it was Bumblefoot from Guns N' Roses. There was a whole slew of artists there.
The guitarist from Twisted Sister.
Yep. Mark Mendoza.
I think so. Yeah.
Sis, I think. Yeah. And then Mike Orlando from Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was a really fun show. It was fun because it was charity, but it was also just like, and everybody was there for, like a positive cause. So we all like bonded, and I'm so happy we've all, stayed in touch like since. It's so cool.
I know, me too.
Yes. So how did you start? Did you like start doing session stuff and like as a session guitarist, and then kind of got into touring and auditioning that way? Or were you just like banging out auditions? What was that kind of transition from like playing in like local band stuff and doing contests and all that to like, okay?
Honestly, it kind of started with just like when I was little, my dad would take me out to like family parties to play for family and stuff. And we just have fun jamming. And then when I was 12, I had my first band, and we kind of just played out mostly at like clubs and venues and a couple of festivals that I'd done here and there, but it didn't really take off with the touring necessarily until I was about 17, 18 years old. That's what like actually I wouldn't say that, probably a little farther back. I started when I was 17. There was like the Boston Legends tour where they had like Elliot Easton, members of like Boston on it, David Hull from Aerosmith, and like Jay Giles, and like a bunch of other like huge names and stuff. And that was kind of like my first tour, would last like a couple weeks, and I did a couple of them. But there was that, and I did the G Taranaki Festival in New Zealand when I was 17, and Slash was the headliner, so we opened for Slash.
That is wild.
And then it was probably like after that time, around the same year, I think, or no, it was around 2011, my dad got the phone call from Greg Philliganes, who was originally with Toto. He played with Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson.
Wow.
And
love it.
He basically found my stuff on YouTube and called my dad's cell phone and wanted to hire me on. It was like, I didn't even have to audition for it. But like at the time when my dad told me about it, it didn't really like click with me until like a week after he told me. I'm like, holy crap, like this is like a huge production with like hundreds of people in it and stuff. And like the Michael Jackson estate working with this, Cirque du Soleil, Solo Tech, like all these big companies. And I was like, oh, okay.
Right. Oh my gosh.
I did that for about 3 years.
So cool. So is that what opened the can of worms with the Michael Jackson Legacy Tour and all of that, and Immortal? Wow.
Yeah.
That, okay, like that tour in itself is just crazy. Like the caliber of artists that and musicians that were on that tour, number one, like, and the show, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I've watched videos and I'm just like, oh my God, what a production. And the amount of people, and you guys did like over 500 shows in 3 years.
Yeah, it's a lot. We've been to like,
and how many countries was it? 27 countries.
Yeah.
That is dope. So cool. Oh my gosh. And you were working with Tina Guo on that also, right?
Yeah.
I love Tina. I think she's
awesome.
Such a badass. Oh my gosh. So what was that like being on tour for that long? Talk about tour life and how you jive.
At first it was hard in the beginning because I mean, I just graduated high school and I'm at the time too, like since I was younger, like my dad had always managed me and stuff. And so it was hard for us to kind of like be apart from each other. So he was there for like the first week, even though he wasn't technically supposed to be, but they kind of worked out something it's almost like the feeling of sending your kid off to college type of deal,
right,
but like huge, like big scale, like
yeah.
The rehearsals took place in was it Montreal for a couple months, and it was hard being like the youngest person on the tour, but eventually like people are like, I started getting along and like, figuring out everybody's names and stuff out of like 200-300 people. But
so
after a while, it just became like a lifestyle,
And you were 18 at the time, 17? Wow, girl. Dude, you guys, Desiree is such an insane guitar player. I like don't even know. Like, it's just God-given. It's a God-given talent. There's no other way to explain it. I mean, you practice your ass off, of course, and all good guitarists do that, but like you're just it's so holy when you just get into it. I love it. When I met you at the Real Rock show, I was like, oh my God. Yes.
That was such a fun show. I still think about it sometimes. I see the video still on YouTube from when we did that show. I'm like, oh, I remember like the crowd went like crazy that day for all the bands.
Right. And it was, I just think it's such a different vibe when like it's for a cause. Like you get so many, it's like, it's just a different energy that's kind of in the room. Everybody's like more relaxed. I felt more relaxed as a performer too, even like,
yeah,
it was just kind of really chill environment. So that's so dope. So, okay, you did that tour for MJ, and then you came back and you did the next tour, which was Legacy, right? Immortal was the first one, and then Legacy came next. And that was another year on the road again. So at this point, you're like a pro at traveling and touring. You're like, okay, I know how to plan a system down. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But was it, I mean, I imagine that people on that tour just like, became your family, like from both tours. Like at that point, it's like you're spending so much time together. Did you bond with like anybody in particular? Like,
I had a few people. Yeah. There's some I still keep in touch with.
That's cool.
On the Immortal tour, there was after Tina left after that year and a half, we had another cellist. Her name is Mariko. She's an amazing cellist as well.
Oh my God.
Her and I are like sisters too.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, you and Tina should do some kind of I'm just like planting a seed, but I think that would be insane. Like, have you guys talked about that yet ever? Like,
it hasn't come up yet because I know like she's busy too because she writes a lot with Hans Zimmer and stuff too. Right. But I mean, I'd like to.
That would be insane. That would be insane. I love it. So, and at what point, like, I guess you and your dad decide to start your own label? Was that like pre-tour or post kind of?
Yeah, before the tour, I would say. I think I'm trying to remember what age exactly. Like, I think at 15 or 16, my dad first like helped me like open my business because legally, like, I can't be like manager yet.
Right.
But I guess like around that time, and I was working on my first 2 albums in that period too. So it was kind of like perfect timing. But I just kind of stuck with it ever since. So
cool, sweet. That's super important. Is just to like put all your ducks in a row and like. It's great that you're touring and you're making money, but it's like being organized and like saving it and how I'm planning all that stuff. Yeah. When you're young, it's kind of hard to know how to do all that stuff. We're like, oh, I'm just an artist. Sure. I just want to play the guitar. All right. Like you handle that.
That first part, like before I started managing myself, like my dad handled it. And it's like, by the time I was 23, 24, I'm like, that's when he decided to stop managing, and I was panicking like, oh my God, like how am I going to figure this out between like the taxes and how to do the filing and all that? Because like in being an artist too, like if you run your own LLC, you have to file for like sales and use if you're selling product and stuff, and it's a lot to keep track of sometimes. And then also like biannually, you have to file as well for your business.
Biannually, wow, okay. But I'm sure like you've figured out at this point how to get like how to do the write-offs and stuff. Like, do you have an accountant now, or have you figured it out on your own from your dad?
Oh no, I have an accountant. But he's killer though, because like I mean he's super chill. Like he understands that stuff. Like when I was doing the Cirque tour, especially, that was important for me because a lot of the international taxes, which was difficult to figure out.
Oh yeah, so. Right. Wow. Yeah, that's rad. So if you guys need a good accountant, hit up Desiree. So, and again, talking about you as a performer and touring, where does your inspirations come from with your makeup and your wardrobe? Girl, it's so dope. You've got such a rockin' look going on. I love it. I love the way you style your hair and like where are the inspirations from? And like, where does it come from?
I don't know. Like when I was younger, I wasn't really into makeup. It wasn't until like I joined Cirque du Soleil that I really had to learn how to do it, because that first couple months, like they come up with the design for you, but they print out like a pamphlet step by step on like how to do it, because we have to do it on our own. And it was just kind of from there I was like curious to try it for myself. So I had makeup just like I travel with for personal makeup, and I would look up images on Google just like out of curiosity, like maybe like tribal makeup or something, like a particular theme, and I just try to try it for myself.
Wow. That's so awesome. And then you just started to like love it and just do it even when you weren't doing Cirque du Soleil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then now I do it for like my own shows too. And like, especially like the metal band in the red, like depending on the shows, like the context of it and stuff, sometimes I'll do like crazy designs that fit with like the heavy rock metal theme.
That's so sick. So like, do you pull from any inspirations in particular, like consciously, or is it more just kind of like subconscious, like creation, just like
what I'd say more subconscious.
Yeah. Because it always looks so unique and like spontaneous, kind of, you know what I mean? Like all of your looks just look so like everything is so individual to you. It's just like it's obviously your creations. It's so cool. I love them. I'm always like, oh my God, look at this cool color hair she has. Look at this cool mohawk. And she's got this looks of hair.
One of these days, like I have it set up on my site, like a separate tab for like my makeup stuff, but I have all the different designs I've done and I have the products I use. But one of these days, like I don't know when I'm gonna have the time for it, but I want to see if maybe somebody could help me. I want to try to put together like, because I know a lot of people asking how I do it or how long it takes. And sometimes with videos, it's hard to, because I don't have the right setup for it. But I want to set up like downloadable like PDFs so people can do it for themselves if they want to, you know?
That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. I'm sure people would love that. Just like tutorial videos or instructionals. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
I love it. So where is everything headed for you now? Let's talk about your band in the red, and you know, let's talk all about what's going on for you as a solo artist. Well, in your band and as a solo artist.
Sure. Let's see. I don't know where to start. I have like four things, like 4 projects I'm involved in.
Aren't you in 3 bands right now too? 3, right?
I mean, so in the red, Crash the Party, and then there's the duo of like turntablist guitarist with my husband. So
yes, that is so cool. I love that. And is his DJ name was it DJ Ragoza?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. That is so sick. It's so funny how like along the way you just meet people and things happen, and like all of a sudden you've got your whole unique style and your different projects that you're doing, and like you're incorporating electronic stuff now with guitarist stuff, and it's awesome. That's really cool. So when you are in the red, so I know you have some music out right now already. What's coming up next? Is anything coming up next for In the Red?
I mean, we had our self-titled EP release. I actually helped with designing the album artwork, the CD for it and stuff. So we just had a 4-song EP at release. We're already going to be working on our next one. now shows are starting to open back up for this year, so I'm hoping more shows. But I know Crash and Party, we're booked pretty much all year round for
I
this
saw
year.
that
So
you guys are already in Bali's and you're like doing stuff in Point Pleasant, all
well,
that stuff. That's awesome.
mostly
When
Jersey area we're going to be playing.
I love it. It's perfect. That's like the perfect area for, you know, your style of music, and like it's party time over there. So it's
And
perfect.
Brandon just joined the band too as a DJ too, so it'll be awesome.
That's awesome. So is he gonna play? He's gonna play with you guys?
Yeah, and then hopefully like after we finish, he'll just be DJing afterwards too,
Right.
like the after party and stuff.
Super sick. That's amazing. And like, I can say from DJing also, like it's always helpful when you like to go and book a gig. If you have a band and you have a DJ, it's amazing because they like DJs to play when you guys do your set breaks. So it's like you guys can really do a nice deal with these venue owners and make it make sense for them. Yeah. And monetize. So.
And I know he's excited about it. I was gonna say too, speaking of DJing, I went across your pictures a little bit on Facebook. Didn't you used to DJ a little bit too?
Yes.
Do you still DJ?
So I do DJ. I DJed for 7 years, and I started in New York just for fun. I would start teaching myself, and then my best friend was like, "I want to learn too. Let's learn together." So I was like, "Okay," and we started doing it, and it's just super fun, super fun. And then when I moved out here to LA, I started doing it for work, and I did something like 100 weddings over here, and like it was just super busy, but it was, yeah, and it was fun, but it was distracting from singing and from music and producing and stuff. So I just quit. I know, and the company I work for was so amazing too, Electric Entertainment. Like he's so nice, Joey. So he's like still tries to call me to come back. You want to just come back? I'm like, I don't want to do that.
I know somebody if you're looking for another one.
Oh, good. Okay, so we'll talk after, and you can let me know because he's a great boss to work for.
Sure.
But yeah, you know, the DJing and the wedding business, it's a lot. It takes a lot of time and energy. So like, you know, as I'm sure you've learned, like it's like you got to just like try to focus as best as you can on your main set goal, because there's so many other things that go along with just that.
Like, yeah, definitely. Like honestly, like this year or this past year alone, like it's just been like so different for me because like I'm strictly a guitarist, but it's like I play bass in like the metal band, but now it's like I'm taking up on like DJing too, in a sense like I'm trying to learn some like scratching, like turntable and stuff, because he's got his whole turntable set up back there, and like when I have the chance, like maybe I'll like practice. But it's so fun. Actually like perfect timing.
Yes, you should definitely mess around with it. It's a lot of fun. It's a little bug that jumps up and bites you. Like, you know, I was always curious about it, and so I just like dove in, and it's just as fun as you would think it is.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. I like it too. The concept is like it's very like rhythmic, you know. It's almost like a percussive instrument that's not supposed to be an instrument, but it's kind of neat. Like there's all these different patterns you can do, but it's like at the same time while I'm learning it, like it's perfect because like I'm learning Ableton now, like with electronic stuff, but I'm also using it for my own music as well for working on my next album. I'm currently like I have 10 songs, but I'm probably gonna like play around with them a little bit more. But in the meantime, with like learning scratching and stuff, it's perfect because like he just finished up actually these past few months releasing a scratching course and stuff from like beginner to like intermediate. It's like all these different levels. You can learn different types of scratching and stuff. It's really, really cool.
That's so cool. Where can people find that? They might want to know.
It's on his website, djragoza.com. And also with it too, like there's like a free scratching tool that people can download that they can use for live settings and like use to practice at home. All the different samples that like the classic ones like Funky Fresh and like there's like a ton of them on there. I can't name them all.
That's awesome. My watchers would love that. Yeah, I'll definitely put that in the info in the video after for sure. That's amazing. So talking about your next album, are you talking about solo album?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So should we talk about Artificial?
Sure.
Yes. So that song was so fun to record. I loved your lyrics and I loved the tone behind it. And I was so excited when you hit me up to do it. You were like, I think you would be a fit for this. And I was like, oh my God, let's check it out. And I was so happy when I listened to it because I was like, yeah, this totally works. So what was your drive in composing that song?
Honestly, like I started writing it like about a few years ago, but I was going through like transitions like with my father because like after the Cirque tour ended, I won't go too deep into it because it's a lot. It's like kind of long story, but
Yeah.
after Cirque, it's like our relationship kind of changed, and he stopped managing, and it boiled down to like finances and stuff, really, and we had an on and off relationship and stuff, but I try not to have too much music stuff with him just in terms of like talking about it because there's like those times like he'll try to suggest or manage things, but I already have like a full system now of how I want to do it and everything's been working the way I want it to. But yeah, it was mostly written about my dad, so just that fragmented relationship.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, as a woman, as an adult, you've come into your own place, and it's like you just want to be a businesswoman, you want to do your own thing, and like, you know, that's
for sure
totally understandable and respectable for anyone who wants to grow and continue blossoming. So I love
it's
it.
not that I
It's
regret
special.
anything that I did at the end in my younger years, because like I'm truly grateful, and it definitely got me to where I am now. But at the same time, it's like I had to detach myself from being like what they call like, you know, the child prodigy and stuff like that, you know.
Right. Yeah, I give you a lot of credit, girl. You know, I mean, it's it's just like in today's day, we have to not only be an artist, we do have to be a business person. So it's just like not even a choice anymore. You know, it's like,
and on top of it being female, it's hard in that kind of industry.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm so happy to, like, I literally have a whole slew of females and next in line to come on my, I'm so happy. It just all worked out naturally that way, because all the females I was trying to get just weren't available. And then it's just like, now it's happening. So I'm so psyched because,
oh, that's exciting.
yeah, it is. I just had on Emmy award winning songwriter Michelle Weiss, and I'm gonna have on a couple of backup singers who've toured with Justin Timberlake, and another girl who sings with Lady Gaga. So I'm super excited. And then
nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's so awesome. I love getting to hear everybody's story, because like we all go through such different things, but especially from a woman's perspective. So since you brought that up, let's talk about that. What's it been like for you being a woman and like kicking so much ass, and like, well, what's been your experience with that? Have you been well received by other, you know, musicians, and what's that been like for you?
When I was younger, like it's kind of like noticeable with like older men, especially like with the type of music. They wouldn't assume, like when they look at me, it's like they wouldn't assume I play guitar. And just this little girl, like who's like 5'1", it's just like, wait, what? Okay. And then I'll get up and play and stuff, just like feeling it at the moment. And then people will turn around and be like, oh my God, holy crap, she can actually play. But like I gotten the impression too, like it's kind of funny, like when I was on Cirque, like just walking around the city, and some people like just complete strangers, they'll ask me what I'm doing in town and stuff, and I'll tell them I'm a part of the show. But when I tell them I'm a guitar player, they wouldn't look at me like I'm a guitar player. They would think I'm like a dancer in the show. It's weird.
Oh my God, that's so fucking awesome. That is awesome. I love watching you play. You get, because like you're a little bit shy when someone first meets you, I think, and then you totally come out of your shell on stage, and you were just a badass, and like it's so fun
more
to
my
watch
comfort
you.
zone.
Right.
It's my comfort zone.
Yeah, and it's funny. It doesn't surprise me that you would be on tours like Cirque and, you know, MJ, because it's just like they're very, very theatrical type of types of music and performances and like concerts. So it just, I like, it's total fit.
Yeah.
It's
And
amazing.
not only that too, the Michael Jackson music, like you would think it's kind of like easy to play the stuff because like, oh, it's like pop music, but really like when you really break it down, like I never been in a room where it's like I've heard of an artist have like up to 90 stems for their songs. It's like crazy, like having to go through rehearsals and just being able to have that privilege to listen to like Michael's solo tracks and all the stuff in the background that like normal listeners wouldn't really hear or catch, you know?
Yep. And I just had on my show Francis Buckley, who worked with Quincy Jones on Juke Joint's album, and they won a Grammy for that. And he was,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it was super cool. And he was talking about Quincy and all of his methodology, but also just how humane he was, and like would just like let everybody come in the studio and just mess around for like 2 hours and have fun, and then they would do like 10 minutes of recording, and it would be magic. So yeah, I can totally imagine though that the music was cerebral, like 90 stems. Yeah, I believe it. because, and then they brought it to the next level in that show. It was just like they added all kinds of instruments and made things orchestral, and it was unbelievable. I think it was like one of the most successful, humongous tours ever. Like, so cool. So what else is in the future for you? You've got so much going on. You've got your solo projects, you've got your bands, you've got shows that are coming up. I know you have sponsors also, right? Who are your sponsors right now? You've got a couple.
Right now I'm sponsored with PRS Guitars, and I'm sponsored with Diodario. I've had sponsorship with them for a while. I'm not endorsed with anybody like solid other than those two, but Axe Shields, I'm sponsored with them.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So how did you get the sponsors? Because I'm sure people would love to know, hey, how can I get sponsored? Were you approached, or did you approach these companies?
It's kind of like both ways. Diodario, I've been sponsored with them since my teenage years, and my dad kind of hooked me up with that one. And PRS kind of approached me on that actually just recently, just last year. So I'm on their Pulse Artist 2021 roster. And then let's see, what's another one? Oh, Lizard Spit is also another sponsor of mine. They're a cleaning product.
I saw that you have that on your site for sale too. Yeah, that's super cool.
They're amazing. It's nice too, because it's like, I mean, initially I didn't think of it like until now, but their polishes mostly are for like automotive.
Oh wow.
And I just use it on my PRS all the time, and it's just like it keeps it so clean, and it's like it's nice to like help you buff out some little scratches, like scratches there. It's nice. I love them. They're cool.
That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. So I want to ask you a question about your mentors. So I know that Joe Satriani is a huge mentor to you, and Jimmy Page and Jimi Hendrix. So growing up, did you listen to their music a lot and try to practice their songs and challenge yourself? And that was kind of how you built up your chops?
Definitely. When I was 3, I was mostly surrounded by like my dad's kind of music. So I listened to a lot of like Triumph, Boston, Joe Satriani, some Reba McEntire, which she's a huge idol of mine.
Yeah.
What else? Some Jimi Hendrix and Allman Brothers. Jeff Beck was another big one. But Triumph and Joe Satriani, I think, are like my top 2 favorites. So
oh, that's awesome.
But I started learning I mean, Joe Satriani is like probably like my biggest guitar inspiration. I started learning his music when I was 5. His first song I ever learned was off the Surfing with the Alien album, the Always With Me, Always With You song.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, he's absolutely incredible. I know that he's the icon for like all major guitarists like Kirk Hammett and, you know, Zakk Wylde and all those guys. They all look up to him so much. I mean, yeah, he's unbelievable.
Steve Vai.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So when you think back to all of the performances that you've had, do you have a favorite concert that sticks out in your mind of like where you just really like loved your performance? You loved the crowd that night, the energy, like does anything stick out in your mind at all? Favorite show?
There was a bunch of them, but I think the one that like I think about the most was the opening show we had with Cirque du Soleil. We had the opening night in Montreal, and my grandma and my sister came out, and that was like a huge deal for me to have my grandma come out to come and see me for like the very first show. She flew out from Connecticut to come and watch me play.
That's pretty badass. Yeah. Grandma rocking out in the audience.
Unfortunately, like after that after that first year of touring and stuff, my grandmother passed away. But I'm
so sorry.
But it's like the one show that I think was like the most iconic for me because I know my grandma too, like it just meant a lot because she was going through a lot of chemo and she had lung cancer and breast cancer too. So she was going through a lot of treatments and she had a hard time walking. Like she had to stop to take a breath and sit every 5 minutes of walking and stuff. So it was really hard for her, but luckily my sister was there to help her out and stuff. And just, it just meant a lot to me. And the last show that she saw before she passed was in my home state. So
that's amazing. That's so special. Did she love to come see you perform?
Yeah, she was a rock and roller.
Oh my God, that's so
her favorite
cool.
song that we played was the song Jessica. It was a Allman Brothers song.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Yeah, that's a great song. Oh, that's awesome. It's so special when you have family motivating you or friends or anybody. Just it makes it that much more. When you're working so hard and you're performing, it's like it's so much fun. You're so thankful for it. But when you have people that are really near and dear to your heart that get to come and see you, it's like a whole nother level of gratification and like
Definitely.
happiness. Oh, that's awesome.
Like I feel like I did my grandma proud that day.
I'm so sure that you did. Oh my gosh. So what else can we expect from you in the near future coming? Give us some insights as to what we can expect.
I mean, it's hard to predict the future, but I feel like with everything going on right now, it's looking pretty good with the shows, with Crash the Party, and then working on this album, which I'm super excited about because it's been like my last album was released in like 2010, so it's like way overdue, and I have so much to share from like all the journeys I've taken since then. Yeah. So I'm really putting a lot of attention to detail on it and learning mixing and mastering on my own, and just like you know.
Yes, such a whole thing, right? I mean, the possibilities are endless for you. You're so talented. So like, I think it's only going to be amazing things for you from here on out. Like, yes. Oh my gosh. You're so talented. I want to see you on hundreds and millions of more things. I'm so excited to see what else comes next for Desiree. And I'm so excited about our song. You guys can check that out on all streaming platforms, Artificial, and it's all good stuff. So the next thing I want to ask you about is your favorite gear. Well, what are some of your favorite types of guitars to play, and yeah, your favorite gear to use?
Let's see, where do I start? Honestly, like my PRS has been my full-time guitar. I just love the thing that like I never thought I would buy one initially just because the style of it, like because my hands are small, I like to have like a thin neck. It's easier for me to play on because like with some like Telecasters, for instance, like they have like a baseball neck type of yeah. Yes. But I have that. My Gibson SGs, like the gold color. I have
so pretty.
A couple of gold tops that I play on. It's been a while since I played on them though, because I've just been playing the PRS so much. But I have those, and then I have my whole pedal board set up, which I'm revamping right now. And then my Marshall JBM 410H is like my full-time amp.
Very cool. Some pretty nice stuff. I love it. So can you give any advice to newcomers who are interested in guitar or maybe that, some other instrument and they want to get into it? They want to start to try to tour. Do you have any advice for people who are up and coming musicians?
Definitely. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of patience, but you have to be like, if you really want it, you have to be motivated and driven, and you really have to work for it. It takes a lot of hard work and focus for sure. But, if you're passionate enough about it and just stick to it, I know that they'll get there.
That's amazing. So I have to ask you, if you had to like say one thing that would set you aside maybe from other guitarists and just makes you super workable and like successful, and what would you say stands out about you?
I definitely would be open to playing like any genre. It's important to be versatile and to really like, even if it's just like little bits and pieces of like songs and stuff, it's always good to know different styles and be open to anything.
That's dope. I love that. And can you give anybody like any insights on where they could go to maybe study some guitar like online? Do you have any resources or any platforms that you use if you're
honestly, it's hard for me to say because I just listen to songs and learn them
by ear. Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I did try like reading music and stuff. I do struggle with it. Like I can read it, but I'm very, very slow with it. But no, like honestly, like the easiest thing that I've done is just I've gone to YouTube sometimes for things, and I've watched other people play chords or certain things to figure it out. Or if I have to like really like sometimes I go on like Ultimate Guitar and for like tabs and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I use that too when I was trying. Yeah, I'm always aspiring, and that's a super good resource too. I love that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh my God, so much exciting stuff. Okay, so was there anything else that you wanted to talk about that I hadn't asked you about yet? I just want to make sure we know as much about you as we can. And
Well, I can share a couple of things that I'm promoting.
yeah, please.
So one of the things actually I'm doing a live stream later, but I do like these special like giveaways and stuff for some of my like sometimes like guitar strings or signed posters, CDs, or like I recently like done a giveaway for a couple of guitar pedals that I had. So I try to do one every other week for that, and anybody can enter. And it's just kind of like a little drawing that I do just for fun, you know, just to kind of give back to fans and the people that support me. And then I'm also on my website, and I told you about it, but I'm doing like a dedicated section on my site for like local bands, artists, and to help support local businesses and services and stuff. So if they want to list anything, like they can send their information to me, and it'll be posted on my site so people can go and help support the local community.
That's amazing. That's so cool. And I told my husband about it too, because he loves to play guitar. So I was like, you need to go on Desiree's website and sign up.
Yeah, anybody, really.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so awesome. I love that. All exciting, good stuff. So we're super excited to keep following what's going on. And if anybody has any questions about guitar stuff or anything at all, is it okay for people to contact you?
Absolutely.
Oh, great. And what's the best way they can reach you?
They can email me, contact@dbassett.com, or I'm all over Facebook. So I mean, I run like 3 pages. So any of the pages you can message me on, I'll respond.
Okay, sweet. That's so awesome.
Instagram and Snapchat and all that.
Great. Very, very cool. And to follow you on Instagram, what's your Instagram? Tell everybody.
It's X Desi with a Z 07X.
Perfect. All right, great. And I'm going to put all this in the video to you guys, so you'll be able to follow Desi and check her out and follow her and stay up to be with what's going on. So that's everything I need to ask you. Now I wanted to do a little trivia with you, just some fun, no like crazy questions, just some fun stuff that's going to be kind of silly, but also like I just made these questions up especially for you. So I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute, because I want you to, I want us to bang this out quickly. I don't want you to have to think about anything too much. It's supposed to be just like organic responses. So whatever comes to your mind first. Okay. Are you down?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Here we go. So, Italian or Thai food?
Oh, that's a hard one. Based off of what I eat more, probably Italian.
All right. How about Ibanez or ESP guitars?
Probably Ibanez.
All right. All right. Marshall or Kemper?
Marshall.
Okay. Helix pedal board or analog pedal board?
Analog.
Okay. Classic rock or heavy metal?
For sure. Probably metal.
Sweet, sweet. How about Dream Theater or Metallica?
Dream Theater.
Cool, cool. 6-string or 7-string guitar?
Ooh, that's hard. I have a 7-string. I don't play on it very much as I'd like to, but I'm gonna go with 6.
All right, okay. Beaching or hiking?
Beaching.
Love it. Oh, and Underworld or Resident Evil?
Resident Evil.
All right, that's it. You did it. I love it. Okay, amazing. That was awesome. That was so much fun.
I was gonna say with that question, the classic or metal, it's like, well, I'm wearing a Killswitch shirt. Like, that's one of my all-time favorite band. It's like, oh, that's a no-brainer for me.
Yup. My husband helped me come up with some of these also, and he explained to me because I didn't even know that Helix pedal boards were a thing. But I mean, it makes total sense. We've gone so electronic now. So yeah, this is super awesome. So I'm glad.
I actually have an electric one. I have to play around with it still. My husband got it for me for Christmas, but it's just like we're doing so much, and I haven't had time to like learn it yet. But at the same time, I'm like so drawn like to just like analog, you know, because there's just something that like stands out more with the tone of it. But I'm getting it all rebuilt. So
Super cool. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on my show.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. I know that a lot of people are going to learn so much in this interview and benefit from you sharing your experiences. So thank you humbly from my heart to yours for coming on today and sharing your life story with me. I love it. No, thank you so much. Give my best to your hubs and can't wait to see what's next for you. So lots of love. Yeah. Have a great rest of your day. And everybody rock all your shades. Keep chameleoning. And be sure to like and subscribe this video. Yeah.
There is one more thing I would like to share though. I almost forgot about it. So the concept with my husband, because we're doing like a guitarist and a turntablist duo, and we kind of like just started the concept of it and had maybe like a couple of shows. But what I really like about it is like we get to play like a lot of the popular stuff like that DJs normally would, but like integrating like guitar, like live guitar to it and stuff. And we're actually partnered with our friend Nicole Nell. She's also a DJ and she DJs full time. She actually did dance classes for a long time too, so she did dancing. But she runs her own company, visual sound production. So we're working with her. We're doing some weddings and stuff coming up. Actually, our first real like Team Ragoza show coming up. May 22nd, we'll be playing at the what's it called? We're playing like a major car show. It's like the what was it called?
Eastern States Expedition.
Eastern States Expedition.
Awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Is that and those guitar shows are public events, right? Anybody could buy tickets to go see them. Yeah. Oh, that's super cool. All right, great. So you'll have to keep us posted with like the date and time and detail of that stuff, because maybe some people can come out. I mean, a lot of people from the East Coast watch my show because I'm an East Coast girl too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So love it. All right, girlfriend. Thank you so much again. Have a great rest of your day. Oh, you're so welcome. And everybody, Chameleon, rock all your shades. Rock them all. Bye. Bye.
Take me under, through the riptide.